Yo, habari zenu, horo wanyu, how are y'all? I'm coming to you as a Kenyan, born and raised in Kenya, and you can see my flag over there too, and living in America since 2013. Okay, I came under the Obama administration, and it was a disaster to say the least, because he made sure my visa was delayed. Now, that's a long story for another day. I'm gonna get into that later, but I came across this video yesterday.
What is it about this man that resonates with so many Kenyans? Let's talk about Donald Trump. Trump's popularity here is on the up, but why are so many Kenyans standing behind him?
Hawezi fukuza Maafrika na hawezi fanya chochote. Trump anaelewa katiba iko.
I've always believed in that guy. He's a good guy, just that people don't believe in him.
So, is it just a few voices, or do more Africans support him? A June 2024 survey by Pew Research Center found that 59% of Kenyans were confident Trump would do the right thing for global affairs. In Ghana and Nigeria, majority of those polled there believed the same. And it's his style that resonates with most people here. Trump is perceived to have strong leadership. His direct style appeals to those who value firm leadership, viewing it as a mark of strength. Then, there are his conservative values. His opposition to issues like same-sex marriage aligns with the values of most Kenyan societies. Such conservative views create a sense of shared cultural practice. Trump's leadership style is obviously admired by many here, but will the president-elect manage to create a real connection with a continent that he's never set foot in?
Thanks guys for always tagging me in those videos. I'm sorry, sometimes it takes a minute for me to respond, but I got you. And who better to respond than me, a Kenyan American who voted for Trump, baby. Why? YMCA. Oh, you guys, I'm still dancing days later. So anywho, let us get into it. So, for one, there are mixed emotions about Trump. I have Kenyan American friends who voted for Trump, and we've been supporting each other for the longest time. They're just quiet because as you all have seen, when you're outspoken Trump supporter, you get a lot of love. I'm being facetious. Even you get love from the conservatives, but you get a lot of hate and death threats and doxing and harassment from the tolerant left, aka the Democrats. They're so loving. They hate when you leave their plantation. They don't like it at all. So they take your black card. Biden took my black card in 2020 because I didn't vote for him. Anywho, there are mixed emotions, but this is why Kenyans voted for Trump. Kenyan Americans voted for Trump, for those who are wondering. One, a lot of African countries, when they choose their leaders, the word leader is used so loosely because they're not leaders, they're just politicians. They're used to doing it either on a tribalistic basis or identity politics. You're told, oh, this candidate belongs to this tribe. People of that tribe, you're automatically supposed to vote for him, even if it's not the right choice. And for most of the time, it's not the right choice. Okay? And I'm gonna put a parallel to Kamala Harris. People were being asked to vote for her on basis of identity politics, and I do not participate in that crap. Because just because I am black does not mean I think black, right? You don't know what my thoughts are. I'm an individual. I don't do collectivism. So don't ask me to vote for a candidate because we look the same. We don't look the same. First of all, she's Indian. Okay? She's not black. I'm not black either. I'm not a color. It's been my platform here for a very long time. I'm switching back and forth, kind of, you know what I'm saying, balance. Also, I'm sorry if this is kind of a little crooked. Let's just go with it. So, the Democrats run on a campaign of identity politics and pandering. That's why you see them getting celebrity endorsements. Oh, look at this woman, she's shaking her ass on stage, please vote for us. It's like, it's insulting to their crowd, but also their crowd is the one that's easy to manipulate. So they get pandered to that way. Because why would you listen to a celebrity telling you how to vote? You're not on the same wavelength. They can afford, whether the economy is crashing or not, they can afford to live. You, the mwananchi, the citizen, the commoner, you can't. So a lot of people voted for Trump because of that. This economy has gone downhill since Biden took office. Ooh-wee. The inflation has been insane. What are you saying? You can barely afford bread. You guys, Kenyans, compare this to Ruto. President Ruto, the way he's taking Kenya down to the underground, selling the country to other countries, making sure the inflation keeps going and going. That's what the Bidenomics. Call it Bidenomics. Kamala and Biden were doing that for the longest time. You can barely afford to buy a house. It's crazy. An income two-income house is basically just stringing along. You barely have money to save up, but it's savings. People have forgotten what savings means. You put savings in the bank, something happens, you have to spend it. That's been our life for the last 4 years. And yet somehow they can afford to send money to the Ukraine. That's what we are seeing. It's just bad, terrible leadership. Next, the reason why we like Trump is once you learn who he is as a person and you stop listening to media. I'm gonna tell you guys, watch CNN, for the love of God and all things holy, stop watching CNN. I'm talking to Kenyans right now. I mean, there are some people here who still watch CNN, but Kenyans especially. And I understand it's the main media, international media source, but it is not journalism. CNN has been crap since the get-go. It's just left-wing. Almost like they have something in it for Trump. If you guys did not know, Trump used to be a Democrat in the 80s. Early 90s when he's converted, and it's because he realized the party he belonged to did not have the same values. The classic liberals, kina people like John F. Kennedy, he's a classic liberal. Wale watu saizi wanajiita conservatives, people like myself, we are more like now the classic libertarians, because we have as far as social issues go, we're very liberal. Vitu kama marriage, land ownership, things like that. But when it comes to big government, we are not for big government, and also want the government out of our things. We also are very fiscally conservative. When it comes to finances, we're very, very conservative. You guys should know what that means. And it's why we voted for Trump, because he is putting America first. The next issue, voted for him. Why? So this part was wrong. This part of the interview was wrong. That statement was not true, because Trump, like I said, when it comes to social issues, he is very liberal. He is not anti-gay marriages. He actually had one recently, March 2024. There was one at Mar-a-Lago. I know you guys feel a certain way. You can feel a certain way about those issues. My stance to date has been, as long as it doesn't affect me and my life, you do whatever you want to do. But once you start calling for rights when they are undermining someone else's rights, then now we have a problem. So you want to get married, you get married. When we start bringing that nonsense to schools and trying to teach our children gender ideology and nini and sexual identity, then now we have a problem. Which is another reason why we voted for Trump. How do you have a teacher in a school, the first thing they do is announce that my pronouns are this and this. It's this woke nonsense. This woke nonsense and ideologies have permeated into public schools. And public schools in America, for those Kenyans who don't know, they are funded by the federal government. Okay, federal funds fund the schools. So schools are afraid to lose funding if they don't allow certain things into the classroom. So that's why. And then the teachers have a union, and these unions allow teachers to behave like kombamuikos. They can do whatever they want and they cannot be fired at because. So now it is a whole thing. It is a whole shithole situation. And that's why we are excited that Trump is now taking education back to the states. No more federal education, back to the states.
And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. Tuition costs at colleges and universities have been exploding, and I mean absolutely exploding. While academics have been obsessed with indoctrinating America's youth, the time has come to reclaim our once great educational institutions from the radical left, and we will do that. Our secret weapon will be the college accreditation system. It's called accreditation for a reason. The accreditors are supposed to ensure that schools are not ripping off students and taxpayers, but they have failed totally. When I return to the White House, I will fire the radical left accreditors that have allowed our colleges to become dominated by Marxist maniacs and lunatics. We will then accept applications for new accreditors who will impose real standards on colleges once again and once and for all. These standards will include defending the American tradition and Western civilization, protecting free speech, eliminating wasteful administrative positions that drive up costs incredibly, removing all Marxist diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucrats, offering options for accelerated and low-cost degrees, providing meaningful job placement and career services.
Next thing, illegal immigration. ebu msiniletee nini hapa. Nikwenda kuigwa, I don't want to hear ati no. Those of us who came here the right way, kila mtu atakuja the right way. There's no way that you're gonna come and sneak in through the fence. No. Me, I lipaid monies. I did medical tests. I had to sign a petition. I had to find a co-sponsor. I was not allowed to get government benefits as a legal immigrant on a green card living in America. And yet these illegals wanaingia hivi nyenye wanapenya then they are given by taxpayer funded benefits. What do you mean? Wacha watolewe, wangolewe wote. There's no way. So yes, those who are wondering why we are popular with Trump, that's why. And for those saying, oh, Trump did this, Trump did that, Trump is a nationalist. I won't even lie. But it's nationalism based on American pride and putting America first. Ruto is in Biden's pocket. For those who do not know, every time the Democrats are in office, some crap goes on in the world. There's always some economical, there's some foreign wars going on when Democrats are in office. If you're clever enough to do the homework, you go and do the homework. Look what happened under Obama, under Biden. And then compare that to 2016 to 2020 when Trump was in office. And see for yourself. We are here, we're not about emotions. Hakuna emotions hapa ni kazi. Who can fanya the jobo? That's the guy we want to go with. Okay, so I hope that gives you guys some insight. And those wondering why we didn't vote for Kamala, why? Because she's a woman. She's a communist woman. For those who don't know what communism is, go and look it up. Go look up what that means. Those wondering why we like him, those who like him, now you know. You know why now. There's a myriad of reasons. And if you feel a certain way about him, you feel a certain way about him, but no, you don't have to like someone to vote for them. That's the nonsense that has made Kenya get to where it is right now. It's false promises from leaders and then them not delivering. Oh, and last but not least, Trump is not a politician. It's why we love him. He's a business. He runs this country like he runs his businesses. And we can see how well his businesses are doing. Yes. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, share, and I'll see you all next time. Kenyan Hippie.